All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Sammy's and Beer podcast. We appreciate you all so much for being here. It's another fantastic, sober October Thirsty Thursday.
It fucking sucks.
With me, as always, is the ever somber Tomas Rincon.
I'm somber now. I like it.
Yep,
There we
and you
go.
don't have your lights on in the background.
I'm changing them up right now. Just wasn't feeling the color scheme, you know. Come on, baby, turn on. And they're
Yeah,
not, they're
yeah,
not, they're not
sure.
turning on. There it is. It was lame, but yeah, I'm here. We're doing stuff. Sober October sucks. Don't do it, kids. It's a trap. I miss
It's
booze.
not that bad.
I miss it. I miss it every day. I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
You've only got 12 days left.
It is true.
12 days.
It's 12 long, grueling days. It actually got easier about 2, 3 days ago. It got real easy. So that's nice.
I didn't know it was difficult before that.
The first week I was like, I could go for a beer. And now it's like,
Yeah.
now I don't actually, I don't know if I'm going to want to deal with a hangover ever again. Like waking up in the morning, like rested and like
Yeah.
I'm working on like 6 hours of sleep and feeling great. So like, I don't know. I did find something at the local liquor store though that will be opening when we can drink again, and I'm very excited. It's a bottle of Blanton's, very hard to find. So
Fair enough.
super stoked for that mouthfeel.
I have all the whiskeys still open in my cabinet that have yet to be drank. So,
I'm just trying not to have a binge fest of a November when I go into it. I'm gonna
binge
ease.
fest of in November.
I'm trying not to. Trying not to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your liver has recovered for 30 days. So to,
Ready to
you're going to
fucking
be
rock and roll?
a cheap date. You're going to be a cheap date,
Yeah, probably. It's gonna be something.
but that's okay.
I think it'll be all right.
That's
Um,
perfectly fine.
we don't have a topic for today. We like to pretend like we're all put together, but we're
Well, I
not.
mean, yeah, yeah.
Someone is too
Ooh.
scared to watch scary movies, so too
I
spooked.
Well, the ones you wanted me to watch, none of them are available on the
Because you're
streaming
watching
platforms
them
I have.
in October. This is the one time of year they can actually charge for scary movies and people will pay for it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry?
yeah, you should be. Autopsy of Jane Doe is pretty good. It's not like super scary either, but it's pretty good. I think you'd like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what kind of movies you would like to watch, but it's a little tough.
I don't know. I don't like when movies have like for it to be a scary movie, it has to have like a good storyline to it. Like I don't want just like some jump scares and stuff. Like I was trying to make it through The Exorcism the beginning.
It's not a good one.
The acting was okay,
That's surprising.
but like everything just jumped from like there was so much that was assumed with the story and everything just like jumped from scene to scene to scene like they were trying to rush it and maybe they had to because it was I mean but it just everything was so fast and I didn't like that.
Well, I mean, it's assumed because it's the prequel made after the popularity of The Exorcist, so a lot of stuff you should know going into it. It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
But it's a prequel, you're not supposed to know anything going into it.
I mean, you are because it's a prequel. Like, you watch the original, and now you watch the prequel to get explanation for stuff on the original. So you don't have to expose everything. Because then you just have two movies
Yeah.
explaining shit.
Mm, prequels are supposed to explain a different story, in my
I
opinion.
I think you would really like Sinister because it has kids in it, and by that I mean I think you really won't like it. It'll be nice and spooky.
Yeah.
I think that'll get you. It's rated, I think, #1. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and we can talk. I mean, I've watched some of the older scary movies.
like the town that fears dawn or whatever, or dusk or Orca. You ever seen
From
Orca?
Dusk Till Dawn?
No, not from Dusk. That's not a vampire movie. The one about Texarkana with the serial killer. I assume you watch
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
I'm assuming you watch like slashers.
Yeah, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
The Hills Have Eyes,
uh,
stuff like that.
The Hills Have Eyes. But then I've also, I mean, we watched, I think the first movie my wife and I ever watched together outside of a theater was Paranormal Activity.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
The Blair Witch,
Mm,
the Blair Witch
classy,
Project.
classy. Started the whole
You know,
genre.
that was a, I thought that was a creepy,
It was,
well
especially
put
at the
together.
time. At the time, it was perfect. Now it
Yeah.
doesn't hold up as much, and they did sequels that were awful. But
Well, and what used to work so well with a lot of that stuff, especially for like me growing up and when I grew up, was you didn't know what was real and what wasn't, you know.
mhm.
Now I've come to realize that even if they put based on a true story, that they could just use the name and it could be based on a true story,
Yeah, it doesn't mean shit.
you know. So then they can make everything else up and they can just say it was based on a true story
You know, we should go
because they used
visit.
one person's name.
We should go visit a haunted location and do like a ghost tour, and like stay the night.
Yeah, you've talked about that. I really couldn't care any less about it.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd
Mm.
be. I think it'd make me feel better to have you there.
I mean,
Us.
let's be honest. Whether you're in a haunted location or not, like just being out in the middle of nowhere when it's dark out can be creepy.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you guys don't have basements out there, but there's still times as a grown adult that I sprint up my stairs from the basement with the lights off. You know, I mean, you never know what's going to grab your feet. You
Yeah.
hang your feet off the bed while you're sleeping?
Well, I heard that demons eat your feet if you hang them off while you sleep. So now I just hang my ass off.
Your jokes aren't
They
funny.
never are. We should do our shots though.
We should. We should
Our,
do some
our
shots.
pretend shots.
They're real shots. I have a shot of wheatgrass that I went to a store and purchased.
I read an article about a guy who did the egg thing, and he
Uh-huh.
staunchly said, "Do not do this. It's not worth the pain."
Of what?
He got salmonella poisoning.
Oh, so he was 1 in 20,000.
That's really not a big number. Like
That's a huge number.
that's a lot of people. There's like what 356 million people in the United
No,
States.
it's 1 in 20,000 eggs has salmonella in it.
How many eggs are in the United States?
Millions.
Billions.
But most people eat their eggs. So the amount of people that get salmonella from eating a raw egg has got to be less than 1%.
The average human American consumes 279 eggs per year.
That's a lot of fucking eggs.
That's
But I suppose,
billions of
but
eggs.
do they count that like are you counted as consuming an egg if you eat cake
Huh. That's a fair point.
or a slice of bread? You know, because some bread has eggs in it. Or if you eat egg noodles or egg drop soup, or there's eggs that go into so many things. Even meatloaf has eggs in it.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Hmm. That's still a lot of eggs.
And you said how many eggs per year? 279?
277 through 76, I think. 79. But I also read 77 and 76. So even if you lowball
Which
at 76.
that can't be including anything else because when you sit down to eat eggs, let's say you have eggs twice a week and you have 2 eggs. That's 4 eggs a week times 52 weeks a year.
It's 200 eggs.
208.
Oh, sure. Good at math. It's a lot of eggs.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's do some shots, and I believe you get to go first tonight.
Yay! I have the perfect. Oh, that's a shot against. Who should the shot for be?
You do the shot against first.
Nah, I like to end it on the go fuck yourself. Ooh. Mm. My shot for is going to be to courteous drivers. So I have to take a 2-lane highway on my way to work for an hour, right? And it's a long stretch of road, and it's 75 miles an hour. And constantly I run into people who are just, going about their day, and they're like 15 to 20 miles under the speed limit, which to most people would be super frustrating. However, whenever I run into them, they always like go to the shoulder so I can pass them. And that's to them for being the homies and letting me speed my way to an early grave. I appreciate it. It's still not bad. The ginger's getting stronger though. It is. It's on your finger. You'd rather wipe it up than lick it.
Yeah. What if it tastes horrible? What if I don't want to take the shot then?
Should have licked it. It's not going
All
to taste that
right.
bad.
So this is a shot for. This shot, although we do plenty of these, but to the important people in our lives, this is a shot to my wife, who we just celebrated our 12th year of marriage. I don't know why she's put up with me for this long,
Me
but
neither.
cheers to you for having put up with me. I love you. Cheers. Well, that was not good.
No,
You ever had a shot of wheatgrass before?
no.
You know what fresh cut grass smells like?
Yeah,
That's what that tastes like.
that's disgusting. Well, there are worse things.
I'll say I'm looking forward to the kombucha.
Of course you are.
Ooh,
I would, fermented goat urine is just not my thing.
just their
So,
testicles.
just their testicles. This shot against is for all the adults out there that don't watch scary movies. Grow up. That's all.
Did you just take your shot against me?
Hmm. It's spicy now.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't have done that because I get to go second.
Yeah.
This shot against is for all the adults who are in a romantic relationship and significantly into their 20s and still live at home with their parents. Get a job, move out, become an adult.
I have 2 jobs.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, remind me at the end of the podcast to tell you about my new job, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with you.
I know. I can't either.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're not going to talk about scary movies.
I mean, like I said, we can. I just don't have the knowledge that I
But-
would like to.
Yeah, I'd like to wait one more week. I mean, it's not too terribly long. I can wait a little bit. Get some good information out of you. What your opinions are, what you think are the best. Because everyone's different. Everyone has.
I'm not going to watch that many.
You need at least 4 that you've watched this month. You did Hills Have Eyes and The Exorcist, so you just.
I haven't finished either one yet.
God, I don't. That Exorcist movie's not gonna be good.
Yeah, we're halfway through it, and my wife was like, "I'm going to go to bed." I was like, "All right, I'll wait for you to watch
Well,
it."
well, if you ever need to play video games, put on like a really bad movie.
We watched my youngest son, we were trying to watch a scary movie, and he doesn't like scary at all.
It's fair.
So he put on a Christmas movie, and it was called like The 12 Dogs of Christmas or something like that. It was probably the worst acted, written, and put together movie I have watched in a super long time.
Oh, Gabe, we love you too.
He must be on YouTube.
He is. I'm just happy to get the chat. Well, I mean, that makes sense.
What makes sense? That was a terrible movie.
That movie sounds like it sucks.
It did. Like, and I watched the whole thing with him.
Why would you? I mean, you're a good dad, actually. I don't know. There's a lot of bad movies out there, though.
Well, there's a lot of bad movies, but I just don't watch them.
Kids' movies, Christian movies are really, really bad too. I don't know if you've ever like seen the articles that come out about like reviewing like Bible thumping Christian movies. They're fucking terrible. Like really
I
bad.
believe it.
In
We watched
movies from
another
India are
movie.
getting
I
better,
watched
though.
it with my wife, and it was called The Turkey Bowl. That was a super bad movie.
Sounds familiar. My family, my parents actually watch Hallmark movies. They have the Hallmark membership. Hallmark has a streaming service, and they watch them because I guess it's entertaining.
Your mic kind of got funky there.
You got funky.
I did?
No, I'm kidding. Is it fine now?
Oh, there it got a lot better.
Oh. Oh. Oh no, to tell you.
You seemed really far away.
I think I kind of am a little far away, actually. Sorry. No, there's bad movies out there.
Here's something. So I watched a TV show this week.
Okay.
And it was called like The Selection. And it was about a group of 30 civilians who voluntarily went into basically like buds.
Okay.
And they had former Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, and that's who led this.
Okay,
and
I'm liking it.
It was I saw it and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Like, see what these
what
people
the average guy could do. Yeah, I like it.
And it was interesting because it was 8 episodes. Like, I'd watch more if they kept making it. Like, I'd definitely watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it was funny how I think everybody cried that was involved with it.
I think that's a common occurrence.
So I wanted to ask you. So I know you're not allowed to talk about some of the training that you go to.
Correct.
Are you allowed to talk about what you're not allowed to talk about?
So there's like a gray area with it, and a lot of other like really way popular than me military dudes on social media and stuff. They've talked about certain aspects of it. There are definitely things you cannot talk about 100%, and then there are like stories that you can like kind of get into a little bit. So it kind of just depends.
You keep getting super quiet and then super loud.
I don't know why. That's weird. I'll work on it.
So I'm just letting you know. Like every so often, you'll just kind of. It's like you go from this to this.
I know exactly why.
Were you on your earbuds?
No. Microphone? Output device. How about now?
What?
Is it better now?
Yeah, for the moment.
Okay.
Happens again.
It's like it was using like a secondary software in the computer and then using the microphone, so I just went to just the microphone in Discord. That was the issue.
Okay.
But some stuff I'm allowed to talk about, some stuff I'm not. It's not like I went through super amazing, badass training. It's just some stuff.
No, I'm not even talking about some of that stuff. Like you've said, there's like I was talking about like the current conflict that's going on between Israel and Palestine.
Hmm.
You said I'm not allowed to talk about that.
So, and then there's also a huge thing with our PA, which is public affairs, and you have to be very careful what you say on the internet. You have to be very careful, how you say it, how you come across, because your views and your opinions, especially if like you're in uniform or something, can be taken as representation of the Department of Defense, which I do not represent the Department of Defense at all. I'm a filthy reservist, but you have to just be careful because it just takes one guy to get a clip. Like Airman says, "Fuck you" and "fuck this." I'm like, okay. So that's the big thing.
Okay, so like, do they give you a list of like, hey, these are topics that you should avoid?
So actually, if you're doing something like this, or a good example is I went and talked to my little sister's school right when I finished flight school, her ROTC program, because her boyfriend at the time was in the ROTC program, and he wanted me to go talk to him. And I was a cool flight medic, you know what I mean? And before I went and did that, I actually had to go to the public affairs office, and they told me what I was allowed to talk about, what I was not allowed to talk about. They coach you through the whole thing. Interviews,
So
if you ever get
can,
interviews.
can you tell us what you're not allowed to talk about?
No, that's
That's
That's a loophole. The general adage is if you don't know, don't talk about it.
well, and I don't want to like I don't want to actually have a conversation on it, but I'm just more curious as to what the topics are that they tell you
Okay. Oh,
don't
okay.
talk about.
So a big
You know,
one for a while there, especially when Trump was in office, is like, hey, don't badmouth the president in uniform. Don't do that.
mhm.
That's
Why don't I don't think that
fair.
was just Trump, was it? Like, isn't that kind of a
It's
standing rule?
it's
Are you
branched over,
like are you
but
allowed to now talk bad about Biden
no,
or
no.
or
It's to the
now that
commander in
Trump is the
chief.
president, can you talk shit about him now?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. That might be a gray area. I have to look that one up.
Okay.
But it's definitely a standing order. Like, don't talk bad about the president. Like, okay. But it became a big issue when Trump was in office. Obviously, people had opinions to and fro and for and against, and it's just a big thing. So
So are there more or less opinions now that Trump isn't in office and Biden
I'd
is?
say it's the same. I'd say it's the same. It just
Yep.
fucking flipped. Like, it just, which we all
Yep.
knew would happen. So,
Yeah. Which it probably was the same flip from when Barack Obama was the president.
oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
So it went from one side to the Trump side and then back. Like, or
It's
just,
and it is just it's a pancake. It's just gonna keep
yeah.
flipping. Um,
Yep.
and I really don't give a shit either way. So you know,
You should, but
I don't. I know I should.
you
I
should.
don't.
I mean, it only affects you just a little bit.
Only a lot. It's my paycheck. So yeah, there's stuff you can't like certain training items you can't talk about, or you
Like
shouldn't
what
have
kind of
about.
training item?
Like the special kind of training items that you can't talk
Like,
about. The ones that you can't talk about, you can't talk about.
well, I know. I'm just curious which training items are the ones like, like, is there anything like soup? Like, obviously, do you have a clearance level?
Yep.
What percentage of the military has the same clearance level as you?
That's pretty decently high amount, I think.
You have a decently high?
No, like I think I don't even know. Maybe I really wouldn't know.
Okay, you don't have a high clearance level if you don't even know how.
I definitely
Like,
don't have. I definitely don't have like a super secret, awesome, amazing clearance level.
well, I didn't think you did, but
Yeah.
like, I always like in sales, there's three stages of being at things where you don't know what you don't know, where you know what you don't know, and then where you know what you know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I would say I know what I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. And there's also different clearances for different things. If you're going on a mission and you need to know this information, they're not necessarily going to give you this awesome clearance, but they're going to give you something that covers that specific area and that specific duty. You know what I mean? Kind of like, yeah, that happens a
Yeah.
lot. It's fun.
You
The military's
you
fun.
really you really don't get like mission clearance for stuff though, do you? I mean, you're a
No,
flight medic.
and you gotta remember too. Like, say if we go down, Why would they give me this information I don't really need in the event that I do get captured?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I don't need to know it. Then don't fucking tell me. I don't want to know.
Now, part of the Geneva Convention, they're not allowed to shoot at
They will.
medically flagged or transport units,
They
correct?
will. Yeah, they will, but they're not supposed to. We're the only ones that follow the Geneva Convention.
Okay. Is that what it's called? It's the Geneva Convention,
Hmm.
right?
Yep. Technically, if I get captured, I'm supposed to like
Do
be
you have a
set
cyanide
back.
pill?
Do I have a what?
A cyanide pill?
No,
Oh.
no, no. They and we train on that. That
On
whole
how to take a cyanide pill?
no. You just I
No.
assume you take it like a normal pill. You just
Okay.
eat a ton of apples. I
Apples
think
have cyanide in them?
I think you need 30,000 bananas to have the radiation kill you.
Okay.
I think that's a thing. No, they train us in a lot of really cool things when it comes to being captured and intel and stuff like that. So it's really the best training I ever been through and the best training I never want to go through again. If someone says you have to go through it again to continue flying, I would be on the fence. I'd be 50-50. I'd be like,
Yeah. Did you have to go through like interrogation training?
mhm.
Did you get put in a box?
I
Or are
don't
you not
know.
allowed to talk
I
about that?
don't think I'm allowed to talk about that one. I don't think I'm allowed to talk about specifics.
Okay. Well, and I'm just going by like what they did in the show, where like
Hmm. And
they
that's
put
standard practice.
blackout goggles on them, and they didn't take them off for. I think these guys only had to go like 12 hours.
Oh, that's
Maybe
not
it was
bad.
11, and like just sat. They'd every so often pick one up, go put them in a box, shut the box.
No, that's not bad at all.
Well, and they had like babies crying, and
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um,
sorry, don't
so
mean to like trigger things here.
no, you're fine. It's just memories. They're still there. No, there's a big psychological component that I didn't know going into was a thing. Because you see, like, interrogation in movies, and it's more, I'm gonna beat your ass, and then ass beating. It's a lot more psychological than that.
Oh
And
yeah,
and I had no idea. I wasn't prepared at all.
yeah.
So they got
Didn't
my
know what
ass.
you didn't know.
Yeah, I really didn't know fucking anything. A man looked at my butthole. Like it was a whole time. That is two men that have seen my butthole, and that is two men too many already.
No, there's probably three, maybe even four.
What?
What? Well, I
Oh,
guarantee
my
your
dad.
dad probably saw your
I
butthole,
don't know if he ever changed a diaper.
and I'm sure that one of your brothers probably did because he was probably around when you had your diapers changed.
Oh, maybe. Oh, I guess so.
So
Two men that I'm not related to have seen my butthole, and that's two men
okay.
too many. They see your butthole
maybe
at
maybe
MEPS.
a grandpa.
Maybe a grand. No, I can guarantee my grandpa's did not see my butthole. I can guarantee that. Um, yeah. And I'm sure there's some stuff I'm allowed to talk about. Like, oh, okay, so this isn't super specific. There is a cadre of instructors, right? And they fulfill the role of the bad guys. And every time there's a big dude, like the biggest motherfucker name there has a nickname. And it changes per class, whatever. And it's always a goofy nickname to make you not afraid of them. My guy was Bubbles. That
Mhm.
was his nickname, which our friend's name is Bubbles, so that's still kind of weird to me.
I have
He,
another friend named Bubbles too.
oh yeah, you do. He was massive. I mean, and I was afraid at that point. So he looked 9 feet tall, and he slapped the shit out of me. He slapped me so hard that my mouth went numb, and I ate later, and I couldn't taste it because my tongue was still numb and swollen because of how hard this man rocked my shit.
It's good. But his nickname was Bubbles, so you
His
weren't supposed to be afraid of him.
I don't know if that was the reason or it's just the cadre having fun. And I know I can talk about that specifically because it was in a book that my brother read. So it's, obviously it's out there. It's specifically even the name and everything. So I know I'm good. But he and I'm pretty, and it's just a moniker they give the biggest motherfucker there. He rocked my shit. I have never been hit so hard and humbled so fast in my entire life. It was like the hand of God came in and just smacked the shit out of me, open-handed. You didn't even wheel it back. You went, "Pah," and whoa, he fucked me up.
Hand just covers your whole face.
It's like the fingers. I'm pretty sure he could grab my head like a basketball. It was ridiculous, but it's funny to talk about now. Back then,
Oh yeah,
hmm.
that's
and
not
it's
fun.
and it's interesting just to think about that. There's a career field that we have where a big proponent of their careers is hosting these classes and teaching people how to survive these kind of situations. It's really cool. That's a really cool career field.
Yeah, I mean, and it's important, you know. I
Oh, it
mean,
is. It really is. And it's one of
and I think
those
that,
classes you can't fail either.
well, you definitely can.
You can't, but you won't. Like they'll keep trying to keep you in there because the point is to break you down. So like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm interested in that show. Like me personally, I don't think I could ever go through buds or induct or selection or anything like that. I'm good. Like I don't wanna. I get that there's people that want to do that. You go for it. We need you, not me.
Well, and like some of the stuff, like I was looking at it and like I'm watching it, and I'm like, yeah, it'd be, you know, if I was in good shape and like an athlete or something like that, and like just doing like the physical training of it, you know, seemed cool. I'm okay with being cold, you know, and you know the mentalness of that. Like they were doing a lot of water training where they're, you know, they're standing on the beach with arms interlocked and you know things like that, which suck but are overcomable.
Yeah, well, I think the whole
You
thing's
know,
overcomable.
I don't know. You lock me in the box, I'm probably
I was not claustrophobic before going through training, and I am now.
yeah. No, I hard pass on putting me in a box.
It's pretty rough. I wouldn't say I'm claustrophobic. I'm not like diagnosed or anything, but I definitely don't like tight spaces anymore.
Yeah, no. That's
As a
I
bigger
would
guy
not.
too,
I would not willingly do that. Like,
yeah,
especially like I'm watching it on the show, and I'm like, you put. I would have straight up told him. I said, if you close that lid, just take my patch off, and I'm done.
I'm good.
We're out.
Which is cool. They have ways to make the box smaller, actually.
Oh, I believe it.
Like, there's slots that you keep filling in the box.
Oh yeah, Houdini type stuff.
Hell yeah, it's fucking torture.
Yeah, yeah. The other stuff I could probably a lot of that stuff I could deal with, but not in a box.
For me, it's the sleep deprivation. I've never done well with sleep deprivation.
Yeah, that's tough.
I just get cranky, and I'm like, fuck it, fuck you, fuck everything, I'm out.
That's the purpose of it.
Yeah,
You know.
Uncle T needs his sleep. I'll black out. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
What was the coolest thing from training?
That
Like there
was
had to have been.
probably, there's a moment that I actually can't talk about, and it is the most American and the coolest moment of like my entire life. Like, and I can't talk about it.
Did you get to shoot a Roman candle out of your butthole while chugging a beer?
That would be awesome.
That sounds like the most American thing I could think of.
I guess so. No, it's maybe one day I'll tell you about it because it's one of those things you can't, you know. But it is
Yeah.
fucking that moment, and then just the training in general was amazing. I specifically, they don't have this portion anymore, I don't think, but before you would actually survive in the woods for several days at a time and survive. You had an instructor with you. He was showing you. You would have to map, like navigate, and know how to do all that. And each day, someone else takes the lead for half a day. You know, it's a thing. You got given 2 MREs for 4 days. So you know they made you hungry. They made you walk miles with all of your gear, like and a rut, and it's just in the fucking woods, uphill, downhill, through creeks, the mud. Again, all of this is fine for people to
Was
know.
was that just basic training, or was this a special
No,
training
that
that you
was the survival part of the training for us.
for survival part of basic?
No, for flight.
Oh, okay,
Hmm.
gotcha. That makes sense.
I like I said, I don't think they do this anymore. and it's they taught you like how to survive in the wilderness, certain knots, food to eat, plants to eat, like animals to hunt,
Do
how
you
to
remember
trap.
any of that?
I remember most of it actually. I
Okay.
came to find out it's pretty cool. The knots I use a lot more than I thought I would.
The knots?
Yeah, like hobo knots and hitcher's knots,
Oh,
and
okay.
you know,
Actual knot.
yeah,
I thought you
like
meant like I thought you meant like knots on a tree or something like that.
no, like they teach you how to make shelters, like and the best things to make shelters for, how the earth works with your body and like staying warm, staying cool. Because we went when it was 30 degrees out and raining, so
Hmm.
that sucked. You know, what you can eat, what you can't. And it was the coolest training I think I've ever done. I was tired, hungry, and just not having a good time. But there was just moments I was like, this is the fucking shit. They let you bring bouillon cubes. That was the only thing you were really allowed to bring. And so I had meat tea every night. And it helped boost my morale a ton. You'd be surprised what some meat tea will do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of home. I was like, everyone's
Yeah,
drinking
I mean
coffee.
you don't think about how actually spoiled we are with food.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's crazy. And how quickly things like I mean, if shit actually hit the fan and people wouldn't know what to do.
How many people do you think have ever shit in the woods?
Not enough.
No. I mean,
I
that was
mean,
a barrier I got
unless
through.
you call all over a bathroom stall, and then quite a few.
That's kind of, yeah, that's pretty,
You
yeah,
know,
that's fair.
I'll never understand how people do that.
Me either. It's disgusting.
It's the worst thing in the world.
But that was the coolest training because like flight training's cool, right? But that's just a lot of information thrown at you at once. So that's just stress. It's just stressful.
Hmm.
It wasn't too
Yeah,
super. It wasn't terribly hard, but it's just stressful. The survival training was actually like kind of cool. Like, oh, I'm
yeah, I
doing
bet.
this. I know how to do this and that, and I know how many drops of iodine or bleach I need to put in this amount of water so that it's safe to drink.
Nice.
Yeah. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. And it shows you what hungry, because I don't think a lot of people actually know what hungry is. It
Yeah,
shows you like what the fuck hungry feels like,
yeah.
and it is not fun. I was eating ants and crickets and grasshoppers. I don't give a fuck. There's these little ants that are in the area, and they taste like a lemon drop, like the candy, right? Or like the shot. It's just very citrusy. So
Hmm.
I spent like a half hour picking up like 30 of these bitches, squishing them in the bottom of my cup and making tea out of them. And it
I
was
thought ants are supposed to be
delicious.
like super acidic.
Maybe. They're super fucking tasty. But during that time is when I developed my adverse reaction to bees, wasps, and things that fly with stingers. I was I was eating MREs, so I hadn't shit in like 3 days, and it was just sitting like a heavy log in here, you know, because they make you not shit. That's
Hmm.
it's a known thing. So I find this perfect stump. It's amazing. My ass is dangling off the end of it, and I am taking the fattest shit of my life, and it was the most relieving shit I've ever taken. And it disconnects from my asshole and lands right into a hornet's nest. And they go ballistic. Like they go everywhere, and I get stung all over on my ass. Like I'm lucky they didn't get my balls. You know what I mean? Because I was
Hmm.
self-conscious and I had my pants like on my legs, so it was pretty easy to get them up. But that was terrible. They got all over my face, my head, my ears. So when I hear the buzzing like on my ears, I freak out. You've seen it. I freak out.
Oh yeah,
It's just an involuntary reaction. There's nothing I can do to control it, and that's why.
yeah,
Which, by the way, chewing tobacco on wasp stings helps soothe the pain. Doesn't make it go away completely, but it helps.
yeah. Well, anything helps.
It's fair.
Or if it helps a little bit, it's worth it.
It was totally worth it. And I traded several cans of dip because I didn't even dip at the time for a squeegee of peanut butter and jelly and 3 burrito tortillas. I traded like $60 for those two things, and I made PB and J like quesadillas pretty much, and I handed them out to everyone on my crew. And that was the one of the most bonding moments of my entire fucking life. We were hungry, we were tired, we didn't have anything to eat, and I was just there bartering the precious items so that we could have something, and it was worth it. It was I've never tasted anything as good as that stupid ass PB&J. It was so fucking good.
You don't even like PB&J.
I know. But when you're hungry, you're hungry. It don't really matter what the fuck you like.
Ah, that's true.
But that was the coolest training. Basic training is a joke. Like, I mean, it's shut up, do what you're told, you're gonna get yelled at, run really fast, you're good to go. For the Air Force, I don't know about the other branches. You guys probably have to do stuff. For us, it's just shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, we learned from Forrest Gump, whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
Exactly. Well, and a lot of people just can't get that through their heads. And like you can try as hard as you want to be the perfect airman. They're gonna find something wrong with you because you're supposed to. They're supposed to. Like they're
Hmm.
supposed to make like you didn't fold 4 inches, you folded 3 inches and 59 centimeters, whatever, and they'll bring me for it. It's just what it is. I know that math is wrong, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's just the whole
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just get over it. Do it. It's easy. Yeah, sorry. I went on a military tangent. Didn't think that one was
No, you're
coming.
good. Like I said, I was thinking I wanted to know about things in the military that you're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah, there's definitely, it's more on the like interrogation side that I'm not supposed to talk about. The survival stuff is whatever. Watch
Well,
Bear
yeah, I mean,
Grylls
obviously,
and yeah. Drink your own urine is not advised.
but it's sterile. I like the taste.
Stupid. Um, yeah. Military was the best decision I ever made, hands down.
Ever?
Hmm. Besides my loving girlfriend, who puts up with me. But yeah, if you feel like you're lost and you don't know what to do, Uncle Sam will tell you what to do, how to do it, and when to be there.
I don't know. You still seem pretty lost to me.
It's a different kind of lost. That's just because I'm retarded. Oh, I'm not allowed to use that word, right? Oopsies.
There's another word that has been like taken off of like all social media, and I don't understand why.
Which one?
The R word, not the. Instead, everybody says sexually assaulted now.
Oh, because it's a trigger word, I think. Like it triggers people.
Really?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't understand why that word got taken away.
I think that's why. Just or not. It's all based on like the try not to offend people thing.
Like trying not to offend like the victims.
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, why do we care
about the about
about
the
the other ones? Like,
That's fair. Oh, so I've switched. I've joined the dark side. I very rarely use TikTok now.
you need to be very careful with how you talk about that with what we were just talking
Oh,
about. And
I
then you
guess that's
say,
fair.
I've switched.
So
I've joined the dark side now.
I don't use TikTok anymore. Well, very much. I use Instagram.
Why?
They're funnier. They're way fucking funnier. I feel like they're more curated to what I like because I've had my Instagram for like a decade and the
Well,
memes are but
TikTok has really gotten bad with ads, like
it's
super addy.
it's
And everybody's trying to be an affiliate marketer and
you
just
can't
sell you
swear.
some product
Timu's trying to get me to look at naked girls like
all the time.
every third video.
All Oh, at least.
It's just
Do you,
ridiculous.
do you have any pictures of your crush? Do you want to see what they look like naked? This AI will remove all their
That's
clothes.
bananas, by the way.
That's fucking creepy as fuck.
That is so creepy.
That is a super creepy thing.
It is. But Instagram isn't as filtered as TikTok is, right?
It's owned by Facebook.
It's not filtered. So I just saw a video like today of this guy was holding a mom and a kid hostage in their apartment after, assaulting the kid. And cops came in with a shotgun, and you see them blast his fucking arm, almost like it's fucking rough. And then they're aiming at his head, and he's like screaming. He has a gun. It's at the ground, and then there's a misfire on the shotgun at the perfect time, and you just see.
What you said? There's a miss. Oh, I. You think it was a? You think it was a misfire?
It was legally classified as a misfire. Even the cop, he's like, "Oh shit!" Like it definitely was. Like somebody took him out, and like sounded genuine. But that's the kind of shit you can see on Instagram. You can't see it on TikTok.
Fair enough.
And birds. A lot more birds on Instagram.
Birds.
Mm-hmm. I want a rainbow chicken.
A rainbow chicken.
Rainbow chickens, yeah. Holly said I can't get a bird.
Well, I don't blame her.
She doesn't want a pet that's going to live longer than me. Fair. Yeah. But
That birds are funky.
they are kind of gross, I'll give you that one. But they're cute little bastards.
They're not even a little bit.
I think they're pretty cute. You can teach them to sing and stuff. Come on.
If only we had like a radio or an iPod or,
But it's a bird.
music and every other option for sound. Like if we were in the 1500s and you couldn't listen to the radio all the time, sure, yeah, I can understand getting a bird.
I guess that's
We're
fair.
not in that time.
Imagine the first guy to like discover parrots.
Discover?
What would his reaction be? Like he's like talking and the parrot talks back. Like holy shit.
That would be, and those are actually macaws, not
All
parrots.
parrots talk back too. There's actually several species of birds that can talk back, including crows and ravens. You're welcome. And they all have cloacas.
Did you know you can train, I think it's pigeons, to find shiny objects, and they'll bring it to you, and then you give them a treat?
That's crows.
The crows? Is it? I thought that was interesting.
It's really cool. Birds are just interesting because they're so intelligent. They're so.
Are they?
Some are fucking dumb, but some of them are really intelligent.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. They can be.
Okay.
At least I think so. I don't know. I like birds. I want to train messenger pigeons for each other's houses.
I want to know who learned to do that and how you train a bird to become a messenger pigeon.
Well, it's the training's not the hard part because they have a natural homing sense. So like you train them just to fly home, and you take them away from that home. When you need to send a message, you just throw them out the window and they'll go home.
I guess that's.
It's easy. It's more simple than you think it is. They're not like you're not.
But who figured that out for the first time?
That's a fair point. I don't know.
Like, you
Man,
know?
I keep fucking throwing these pigeons away, but they keep coming back.
Like,
It's fair.
I took this one to the next city. The guy's like, wait, you did what? Took this pigeon to the next city, and he still came back. Really?
I mean, when you think about it, that would be
Use that.
mind-blowing technology. Information, like the transfer of information is the most pivotal thing in war.
Oh, yeah. Well, but you can't take them into war.
I mean, you can.
How do you change their home base? How do you update it?
I don't fucking know. You hatch them there? They don't have a long gestation period. It's like a couple weeks, and they're good to go.
A couple of weeks until they're born, and then how do they fly?
Another few weeks. They're pigeons.
It's not few weeks.
How much you want to bet?
I don't know.
How long for? What's your estimate?
So I'm gonna set the line at 4 weeks, and I'm going to say it's over that.
How long do you think until they hatch?
From after they're
Laid.
laid to hatch, probably about 2 weeks. 3 weeks? Probably 3 weeks.
All right, so here's the rundown. It's 18 days to hatch, give or take. So not
About
bad.
3 weeks.
Yeah. For pigeons to leave the nest, it is 25 to 32 days. It's about a month,
3 to 4 weeks.
which isn't bad. But sexual maturity is 7 months.
Yeah, but to leave the nest, I mean, are they a good flyer at that point to where,
They kind of have to be,
do they?
or they'll
We've all
die.
caught birds on the ground before that couldn't fly for shit.
It's true.
You know,
Um,
fresh meat.
kind of. So yeah, the lifespan of a pigeon is very interesting. I think it's cool. I like birds.
But I'd really like to know how you rehome one.
That is a good
Like,
question. I'm not going to Google that because I feel like that's an article to read. Like
oh
that's a
yeah,
big
like
one.
yeah.
Would you train pigeons with me?
Would I know? I hate birds.
Come on, they would be outside. Like you don't have
Yeah,
to have them
they're
inside.
they're still gross.
That'd be super cool. Come on. You get your first message from me from a pigeon, and it's just like a paper with a dick on it.
Exactly. I know what you're gonna send. I don't need a bird to forget.
Did they draw nudes to send to each other? Is the question.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
I'm thinking they had to. Ye old nudes. You just like do it like they did like traced it. Put your wiener down on the table on a paper. You trace it, but you like add a little more.
It only could be like that big. I don't think they did any tracing.
They had to have.
No, the scrolls were tiny. They had to be able to fit around a pigeon's leg.
That's fair. And not throw off its wind balance.
You know.
Uh, they had to have. Or just like sexy texts. It's sexting, but pigeons. I'm going down a weird rabbit hole. Let's bring it back.
Yeah, this is.
Sorry.
I am willing to bet that people probably, the first person that taught a bird to talk was probably thinking he was crazy.
Oh, definitely. Or something was wrong. Something weird was happening.
Yeah.
This isn't the norm. I found a talking bird. I'm going to be rich.
Well, I mean, it had to have been like a pet because they have to hear it so many times before they pick it up.
Or a bird that was sticking around like a camp. They're in the Amazon, they're
Yeah,
traveling. It could be that. They're feeding it and it's sticking around and they're like, what the fuck was that? If your dog started talking one day, like full sentences, was intelligent, could talk to you, say it's Carson, could just talk to you like a person, would you tell anybody?
Yeah, because I'd be really surprised because Carson's kind of a fucking idiot.
It just, I just put out the first name that I remembered.
I would definitely tell somebody.
That you had a talking dog.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What would be the implications of a talking dog?
The application.
I feel like that would be pretty fucking huge.
Yeah.
Because that implies sentience, like beyond base intelligence, and that's kind of nuts.
I mean, it depends on how they're talking.
I said like full conversation, full sentences. Like your dog's like, "Oh, what a wonderful weather we're having. How are you today, Matthew?"
Well, I mean, don't they consider that a lot? Don't you have to be self-aware?
Is the dog self-aware?
Well, exactly. Like, because they did like the thing that they say that elephants are self-aware because they'll take a lot of animals and they'll put a mirror in front of them. And like bears will fight the mirror. They see another bear and they're like, fuck you, let's go. Or,
Okay.
Other animals and things like that. And then they'll say elephants, and elephants realize that it's them. It's actually a cool, if you've never seen it, look up some videos on it. And like elephants like recognize that that's them.
Speaking of which, did you see the article about them with the woolly mammoth DNA?
Yeah, that they're bringing back woolly mammoths.
Using
Yeah.
Indian elephants, but yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, nobody's watched Jurassic Park in the last fucking 6 months.
It's not like they're bringing back dinosaurs. It's a woolly mammoth. It's just a hairy elephant. It'll be fine.
Will it?
Well, I mean, this is where it starts.
Exactly. I mean, do you
And
think?
actually, this brings up a great topic, an interesting one. What if, because they're talking about genetic manipulation, and this is something that's been going on for a while, if you had the chance, like say you were going to have another baby, and you could pick everything about it, how it looks, how tall it's going to be, all of these things, would you do that?
Nope.
I don't think I would either.
I don't think people should be able to do that.
It's a little nutty.
It is.
I mean, that's what the golds are, though.
Yeah.
Kind of what it is. I think it's a little too much because then at that point, life just gets boring.
Yeah. I mean, isn't life almost gotten to the point where it's boring, but people just create shit to have drama about at this point?
Literally, TV shows about
Well,
drama.
TV shows, but I mean, even their own lives and stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's not a huge need for you to struggle in the United States at this point.
For some people, some, they get born without things they need to thrive and survive.
But there's enough opportunities out there that if you really want to, yeah, I mean, I will say the one area that I feel terrible for is kids. Like,
Hmm.
because you don't get to choose anything, you know. And there's unfortunately too many shitty parents out there. But I also think one set of shitty parents is too many. So, um and I'm not talking like just parents who ignore their kids or anything like that, but I mean there's truly shitty parents. Like we just donated some pretzels to my son's class because we had conferences, and we always ask the teachers, do you need anything for the class? And she goes, I always keep pretzels in my class because there was one year I found out at the end of the year that a student in my class ate lunch at school and didn't eat again the next day till they had lunch again at school.
That's nuts.
And she's like, I felt horrible because I didn't know it. She goes, so I keep pretzels in my class so they've always got something to eat. And I offer them to any kids. So we brought, bags of pretzels to school.
That's actually really cool.
And how many kids are out there like that? And that's where I draw the line.
A
But
lot.
you being a grown adult, like, yes, it's going to take time, and yes, it's going to suck, but there's so many little things that we just take for granted that everybody wants to spend money on, like cell phones. You don't need a cell phone.
It's
You
true.
want a cell phone, you can get a free, I mean, there's so many ways to get so many things that can help you starting off that you can build into something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might suck for a couple years. My life sucked for a couple years. I made some hard decisions. My wife didn't work because we wanted to raise our own kids. But there's enough opportunity out there to where you can build skills and you can build a good life for yourself if you so choose.
And I do think we need to hit more on skills instead of education at this point.
Oh yeah.
Learn a trade, man. It works. You don't
Well,
got to
but I
make
mean
$1 million.
there's even other things, I mean, that there's so many areas that need help. So,
Yeah, the art department. I know you're very passionate about the art and music department for for schools.
yeah, that's what we need is more
We
artists.
need more artists. Yep.
We do.
Painters specifically.
Hello to I don't know what your name is. Ramsey's nice? Yes.
Did they say
Yes,
hello?
we have chat on, and it's
Oh,
going well.
we got two today. That's bananas. Are they going to be a robot though? Are they going to offer us sexy milfs in my area? Because
They've got a bet for $10 going. I don't know what the bet's for, but
hmm,
yeah. But it is about that time.
it is actually. You just want to play video games.
They're not a robot, but they want us to follow them on TikTok.
Sounds like something a robot would say. If you're Filipino, Thai, or super attractive, then we know what's going on. It's okay. I actually got hit with one of those scam texts the other day too.
I get hit with scam texts all the day, all
Hey,
the time.
hey, I'm Catherine. I lost your number. Blah blah blah. Here's a picture of me. Do you remember me?
Oh, you fell for it, didn't you?
No.
Willingly.
I think about like what I should say back to like fuck with them because I see some really cool ones on like Reddit and stuff, but I don't think I'm creative enough to really get under their skin.
I get the ones, your UPS package cannot be delivered. Please update your address now.
Oh, I don't get those. Probably because they know I'm poor.
Ugh. I'm poor too. We just get a bunch of stuff delivered to the house, which is why I'm poor.
Which is why you're poor. Oh, I need to tell you what I'm getting Holly for Christmas, which is going to make me even more poor.
Doesn't she listen to this? Shouldn't you not tell me?
That's why I'm going to tell you after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's we're at our 1 hour mark, so it is time to.
Yeah, I do have work tomorrow.
But if you do want to, he says his TikTok is Corey Not Social. So
Is it Corey with a C or with a K?
with a C.
Corey, not social?
Yep. God, I'm gonna laugh so hard if it's like a fucking porn site or something.
No, he got 53 followers. He chilling.
He says it's amazing content.
You know what, homie? I got you. I feel it. I've been there. But yes, it is our time.
I'd like to know what amazing content is, because it's definitely not this.
Oh, I think I see Fortnite. Oh no, that's Roblox.
Oh, Roblox.
Lots of Roblox. Well, thanks for popping in, my friend.
Yeah. We appreciate you stopping by.
Let's roll credits, Matt.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for stopping by. This has been another fantastic episode of the Sammy's and Beer podcast, live here on this Thirsty Thursday. We appreciate you all so much for joining us. We will probably be on a different time next week as one of us has a work scheduling conflict. We're not sure what day we're going to do it, but hopefully we're going to be talking about some scary movies.
That's
as it will
the
be
plan.
our Halloween episode.
And then
maybe we'll see if we can find a spooky bitch to stop by and chat with us about some fake Halloween stuff.
That would be really cool.
We'll see. But Thomas, final words for the fantastic people out in the world.
November 2nd is when we'll be having our podcast for the first day we're allowed to drink again. Look forward to it, because I know I am.
I am not, because it's gonna hurt. But we appreciate you all so much. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to get your pet spayed or neutered. Toodles.